Hey, what's up everyone? How's it going? Dave here. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you guys a quick and effective way to apply noise reduction to your night sky photos in Photoshop. This is only going to take about 5 to 10 minutes, and once you have it down, it'll take you about 3 minutes to complete. So it's super easy and super effective. It's what I use to apply noise reduction to all my night sky photos. So what you're going to notice here is that if you use any software suite to apply noise reduction, such as Nik Define, and I'll cover these in a few minutes and leave you some download links, or Imagenomic, which is another noise reduction software, these software programs have a very hard time determining what's noise in your photo and what's stars. Because if we zoom in here and look, you can see that these stars and the noise around them are going to just look a lot like the same thing to a noise reduction program. So what a noise reduction program is going to do is it's going to go here and make all your stars really blurry, and that's really not what we want. We just want the noise reduction applied to the dark parts of this photo. So I'm going to show you how to combat that and add noise reduction throughout the photo in a really nice way that also keeps your stars nice and sharp in the sky. So the first step here is we're going to add a brand new layer to this. So noise reduction should always be the very last step of your editing process. So I've just completed this photo and it's all done in editing. It's shot in Patagonia like last year or something, I forget, probably like last March or something. So here are all my editing layers. And after I'm completely done editing, I'm going to add a brand new noise reduction layer. So to do that, I'm going to hit Shift, Alt, Command, and E. I'm on a Mac, so that'd be Shift, Alt, Control, and E on a PC. And we'll just label this noise reduction. Boom. So the next thing, you can go up here, go up to filter, and you're going to want to go to Nik and Define. Now, the whole Nik collection is now free via Google, and I'll leave you a link for that below. Another good noise reduction program, which is slightly better, but also costs $89, is Imagenomic, and I'll also leave that linked below. That's actually what I prefer, but I have not loaded it onto this new computer yet. So Nik Define works great, and it's free. So we'll just click Define. And what that's going to do is it's going to run an algorithm and it's going to apply noise reduction to this entire photo. And you can see where it did it down here. And I'll just click OK. Super easy to do, right? So the problem with just doing this alone is that you're going to see that if we zoom in and click on and off, it's going to take a lot of the sharpness away from my stars. It does apply noise reduction to the dark parts, what I want, but it also applies it to the light stars, which I don't want. So there's a super simple way to combat this, and I have two ways to go about it. There's one way, the easiest way, is to buy my Star Photography Photoshop Actions, and that's going to include a video tutorial that walks you through my whole in-depth process. But if you already understand luminosity mask and things like that, you can just follow this quick tutorial and it'll be just as easy for you. So either route you want to use are just fine. They both work pretty much the same, but the Photoshop Actions also include a bunch of other stuff for Star Photography, including like a 40-minute video. But either way, I don't care if you buy it or not. I just want you to be able to apply noise reduction to your photos, and you can also do it this simple way. So I'm going to show you how. Go to Channels, boom, and drag the RGB channel down to this little dotted circle. And if you don't see channels over here, you can go up to Window and select Channels, and it'll pop right up. So what this did here, I'll go up to RGB so we can see our histogram. What that did when I dragged the RGB down to the circle is it select all part of the photo brighter than 50% gray. So let me explain the 50% gray thing on the histogram, since it's kind of confusing if you haven't seen it before. The very left side of the histogram, pure black. The very white side of the histogram, pure white. What's a mixture of half white and half black? That's 50% gray. That's right down the middle of the histogram here. So you'll notice that most of my histogram now from the selection has shifted over because I've selected only parts of this photo that are brighter to the right side or brighter than 50% gray. So that's what you're seeing right there. So if we click this and make a new channel, it'll say Alpha 1 down here. Technically, this is your lights. So that's a light selection. Using the light selection, we can target a dark selection, which is actually the exact invert of this selection. And if this stuff seems kind of confusing to you and you don't understand luminosity mask or mask, check out Sean Bagshaw's website. He's got some really good tutorials on luminosity mask. So what we're going to do with this light selection is we're actually going to invert it to make a dark selection. So to make an invert of a selection, you can hold down Shift, Command, and I. That'd be Shift, Control, and I on a PC. So that just made a dark selection. So if we come down here to this little box with a circle in it, this is now darks. And you can see, to do a little reality check, if you understand mask, anything that's white in one of these channels can be selected. Anything that's black in the channel is not selected. So something that's dark being completely white in this photo shows that most of our photo is dark, which makes sense because it's a night sky photo. So what we're going to do here with the darks is we're going to make a darks channel, and if I go up here to RGB, you can see that the histogram is now shifted to the very left side of 50% gray. So the darks is everything to the very left side of 50% gray. We want to target what are called the super darks or ultra darks, if you want to say that. So that's something way over here, and that's the best area to apply noise reduction to. So what we can do here is we can go down to the darks, and we're going to hold down all at the same time, and while we hold this down, we're going to click on the channel. So follow me here. Shift, Alt, Command, and then hover on the darks channel. You'll see a hand with an X on it. If you click on the darks channel, you'll see when you do that, the marching ants change a little bit. They've just shifted your selection to an even darker area, shifted further to the left on the histogram. And if you haven't seen this stuff before, it's going to be confusing. Go over it again and again and again. It takes months to understand luminance mask. Once you understand it, boom, it's easy. It makes your editing process much easier overall. I'm going to click this again. You'll see a new alpha one. This would be your darks. You can do the same exact process again. Shift, Alt, Command, and hold down the X, click on darks. Did the same thing again. This would be super darks, or whatever you want to call it. People have different ways of labeling them. Now the super darks is looking pretty good here. And why do I know it's looking pretty good? I'm going to hit Command D. That's going to deselect my selection, and I'm going to take a look at this whole thing. I can see with this selection, everything that's white is going to be selected, while everything that's black is not going to be selected. So this would be a very good way to mask out the stars when I'm applying this noise reduction layer. So if I pop back over here, actually I'm going to label this super darks / noise reduction. And keep in mind, if you needed to make, you could just use the darks if you felt that was enough. I didn't think it selected enough of the stars to keep out of the selection. You can go to the super darks. If you don't think that's enough, you can just select the super darks again. You can hold down Shift, Alt, Command. You'll see the X. You can cut that one in half again, and you can make an ultra darks. See, I think the ultra darks was too confining, so I don't think that would do a very good job for the reason of there's too much black in this, which means it's going to completely lock out my noise reduction. And I'm going to go back here to the super darks. I think that's going to be the perfect one. So you could create these each and every time if you wanted to, and it wouldn't be a problem. At the end of this tutorial, I'll show you how my actions work. They create these really quickly for you, and it just pops you right through it. It's super easy. So what I'll do here, now that I've created these channels, is I'll go back to my layer, and I just want to apply this noise reduction layer to just the darkest parts of this photo. So that's super easy for me now. I'll go to my channels, go down here to the super darks, I'll select it, go back to my layer. With the selection going on, I'll just make a new layer mask. What you can see here with this layer mask, if I hold down the Alt button and clicked it, is that it's the exact same as that channel we just made. So my noise reduction layer is only going to be applied to things that are white in this mask, meaning the very dark parts of this photo, noise reduction is going to be applied. Where you can see these little black marks all over the place, those are my stars. Noise reduction will not be applied there. The stars will be nice, sharp, and shiny in the sky. So it's going to be perfect for me. So I can just go back out there, and now if I look, I'll turn the noise reduction off, on, off, on. Check the edges of these stars. They stay nice and sharp. Check this star, off, on. But you can see the noise right here is really dulled down in the darker areas. So that did a fantastic job at targeting the noise reduction. It is exactly what I wanted. So let's say you don't want to go through that whole process that I just went through, and you want to create this stuff really easily. I'm just going to delete these for now. Delete, 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 delete. Trash them. My actions, my star photography Photoshop actions, which I'll link below the video, are just going to do all this for you really quickly. So I'll just click play on these. Boom. Channels, there they all are. It also gives you other channels you can use, like global sky and stars. So let's say like I want to just boost the Milky Way up. I'm almost done editing this shot. I don't need to do this, but I want to show you how easy this is. I'll just click on that, select it. Then I can just come up here, layer, made that new layer. And you'll notice here, when I adjust these, see how it's just adjusting the brightest parts of my photo? So if I wanted to make something really pop out in my photo, I could just adjust it like this, apply a group, mask the group, and I could just brush that back in right here. See how I can just apply that really easily to the Milky Way using those actions? Now let's say I want to add some noise reduction. I can do the same thing I just did. I've actually labeled this just very dark areas in foreground. I can just do that, select it, and I can come back up and I could do the same thing. I could just add it to my layer mask. So my channels make it a bit easier if you don't understand that stuff. They also have a 40-minute video that walks you through how to use them and a bunch of other actions to help you edit your night sky photos. Either option you want to take is just fine. They both work exactly the same. My Photoshop actions just walk you through the process. If you want to learn more about luminosity mask, check out Sean Bagshell's website and the links below this show. I'll just link a bunch of stuff below there that'll help you out with noise reduction and other Photoshop techniques. So hopefully you enjoyed this quick tutorial. Sorry I went fast, but I wanted to get through it real quick so you guys could learn it. So watch it 5 to 10 times. If you don't understand it, leave a comment below. I'll be happy to help you out. See you later, guys.